If you can be around people and still feel emotionally distant. If you don't get attached, easily. If you pull back the moment someone gets close, it's not because you're cold. It's not because you're heartless. And it's definitely not because something is wrong with you. The truth is much quieter than that. Your brain learned emotional distance to survive. Pause. People often think emotional distance is a personality trait, like some people are just born that way. But emotional distance is not something you're born with. It's something you learn. You learn it slowly, in moments where caring hurt more than it helped. In situations where being open didn't feel safe, your brain has one main job: to keep you alive. Happiness is optional. Connection is optional. But survival is not. So when emotional pain repeats itself, your brain doesn't ask why. It asks, how do I stop this from happening again? And the answer is often simple: distance. For some people it starts in childhood, when emotions weren't understood, when being sensitive felt like a weakness, when you learned that expressing feelings led to dismissal, silence, or shame. For others, it starts later, after a relationship where you opened your heart and were met with betrayal, abandonment, or emotional neglect. And for many, it begins after loss. A loss that wasn't just painful, but a loss that taught your nervous system that attachment equals danger. Your brain notices the pattern long before you do. Every time I get close, I get hurt. And once the brain sees a pattern, it doesn't wait for permission. Your brain makes a decision quietly, not consciously, not logically, but instinctively. If attachment causes pain, then we will reduce attachment. That's when emotional distance begins. Feelings become muted. Excitement becomes controlled. Hope becomes guarded. You still function. You still socialize. You still smile. But there's a wall, and that wall isn't there to push people away. It's there to protect what's left of you. From the outside, emotional distance looks like you don't care. You're detached. You're emotionally unavailable. But internally, it's something very different. Emotional distance often belongs to people who once cared deeply, people whose nervous systems were overwhelmed by emotional overload. At some point, your system said, that's enough. And it shut things down. Not forever, just enough to survive. When emotional pain repeats, your nervous system enters protection mode. This can look like emotional numbness, difficulty attaching, feeling calm when alone, feeling uncomfortable with body learns that less feeling means less pain. So, it chooses regulation over connection. Distance becomes safety. Detachment becomes relief. And you don't choose this consciously. Your body does it for you. You're talking to someone. Everything feels normal. The conversation flows. There's comfort. There's interest. Then something shifts. They get closer. Emotionally, personally, and suddenly, you feel the urge to pull back. You don't always know why. You just feel it. So you create space. You distract yourself. You emotionally step away. And later you tell yourself, I don't really care anyway. But the truth is, you cared enough for your brain to protect you. People say things like, you should open up more. You're too guarded. You don't let anyone in. What they don't see is that your distance is not indifference. It's experience. It's a response to moments when vulnerability was punished instead of protected. Your emotional walls were not built overnight. They were built brick by brick. Each brick represents a moment when feeling deeply costs you something. Survive. Strategies work, but they come with a price. Distance keeps you safe, but it also keeps you disconnected. You may feel calm, but also empty. Independent, but lonely, protected, but unseen. The hardest part is wanting connection, while fearing the pain that comes with it. Wanting closeness, but needing control. That internal conflict is exhausting. Yes, but not through force. Not by pushing yourself. Not by guilt. Not by telling yourself to just be normal. Because emotional distance was learned in unsafe conditions. And it can only be unlearned in safe. One step slowly, gently, without pressure. The first step is not changing yourself. The first step is understanding that nothing is wrong with you. Emotional distance is not a flaw. It's evidence. Evidence that you adapted. That you survived something difficult. That your brain did exactly what it was designed to do. And survival is not the end of the story. Once you are safe, the nervous system can learn again. Not to remove boundaries, but to choose when closeness is safe. Healing is not becoming open to everyone. Healing is regaining choice. If you feel distant, even when surrounded by people, if closeness feels heavy, if being alone feels easier than explaining yourself, don't judge yourself. Remember this. You are not cold. You are not broken. You are not incapable of connection. You became this way because your brain learned how to protect you. And the same brain that learned to survive can slowly learn how to feel again. At your pace. In your time, you're not distant. You're just tired.